Court does call the case. This is of the people versus Daniel Magoo.
Ashley Peltis for the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Alex Lauren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Thank you. Mr. Magoo, can you state?
Daniel Magoo.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the defense is ready to proceed to examination in each matter. I'd ask for a sequestration order.
I anticipate one witness in each case,
All right.
so it should be over.
All right. Witnesses are ordered sequestered for what that matter.
Actually, Your Honor, I have
you may have. Yes.
I have an issue. I have been requesting the last time I was here, requested that the prosecution provide explanation for the undue delay.
Your Honor, my advice to Mr. Magoo was that I'd be handling the examination today. So just for purposes of the record, I'm advising you not to make any statements on the record of this.
Well, I do actually also.
Wait, did he just try to remove a state criminal case to federal court? Legal nerd alert. This is a classic sovereign citizen or pro-SE tactic. He's citing 28 U.S.C. 1455, claiming due process violations. Usually this is a massive Hail Mary that judges shut down instantly. Notice his own lawyer is basically backing away slowly, saying, "I'm not a member of the federal bar." This is getting awkward fast.
I want to provide notice that this case is being removed under 28 U.S.C. 1455 to the Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25-12440 and due to due process violations that I've been facing.
I don't know what you're talking about. The case has been removed.
I'm sorry. I'm providing notice of removal under case number 25-12-12440.
Have you talked that over with your attorney?
I let him know.
Your Honor, and my advice was I'm not going to be joining in any collateral motions or actions, and that I would address the case.
Are you aware of any motion that seeks to take this case to federal court? I'm not sure how that would even happen.
Right, Your Honor. And Mr. Magoo told me that he has been seeking that action, but I informed him that I am not a member of the federal bar and that I would not be joining him in any of those actions.
Just providing notice.
Okay, I don't know what the notice does, but I'm not. If I don't have something in writing indicating some procedural aspect to it or anything along those lines, the court's not.
Can I give this to you now?
I would advise against.
I don't even know what is.
Notice of removal pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1455 criminal.
What does that statute read?
The criminal proceedings removed to federal court under federal questions involved in this case.
I'm not going to bite as to what federal questions, because I don't think there are any federal questions.
The judge isn't biting. He basically tells Magoo, "Nice try, but we're staying right here." Dramatic reveal. Most defendants think moving to federal court is a get-out-of-jail-free card, but it's actually a procedural nightmare. The judge is forcing the case to proceed today. Magoo is now trapped in state court, and the evidence is about to get hairy.
Fourth Amendment violation.
Which adequately a state court could handle if that were an issue. So I don't think there's any need for the court to even deal with that. I don't know that anything's been filed with the federal court regarding that or anything else.
Filed under case number 25-12440.
Are we ready to proceed?
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
People ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Which case would you?
We were talking over each other. I apologize. If it pleases the court, could we start with the OWI matter?
That being 0523.
I believe that's correct.
That's fine. Start with that one.
Thank you. A couple of housekeeping matters. The court is in receipt of the amended complaint, which is just typing it correctly as a felony form. Is that correct?
I do have an amended information. I do.
Excellent. And, Your Honor, I do believe defense is stipulating that the defendant has 3 prior OWI convictions.
So stipulated, Your Honor.
So there's a step to the priors.
There it is, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
I do think defense is going to stipulate to people's exhibits 1 through 10, which are photos, but maybe not.
Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to review those and we would so stipulate.
And then people's exhibit 11 is a laboratory report. I'm not sure if there'll be a stipulation to that as well.
We would so stipulate.
I'm sorry.
So stipulated, Your Honor.
Okay, so exhibits 1 through 11 are stipulated to.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Therefore admitted.
Thank you. I do expect that the officer in charge of the other matter will probably be informed at some point if sequestration order is otherwise enacted and followed. So I will call Paul Corey to the stand.
All right, please come forward to be sworn.
Take C, raise your right hand. If you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Two. State spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Paul Corey, P-A-U-L-C-O-R-R-I-E.
All right, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
I'm employed with the Milan Police Department.
How long have you been employed with the Milan Police Department?
A little under 2 years full time.
Do you have prior law enforcement experience?
Yes, I worked at the Washington Sheriff's Office prior to that for about 15 years.
Were you working for the Milan City Police Department on or about March the 27th, 2024?
I was
Do you recall what shift you were working that day?
up in night shift, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And were you ever at the location of Dexter Street and Arcona Road?
I was
About what time were you at that location?
about 1:35 or when I was dispatched there.
Why were you dispatched there?
The 911 caller had said that there was a single car crash into a gas station in that area.
Did the 911 caller, did you have any other information in your dispatch when you were headed that way? Yeah, it's not being offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. It's being offered to prove why he was headed to that location and other additional information that may have hastened his speed going that way.
All right, I will overrule the objection regarding hearsay. I'll accept it for what it's offered for, other than the truth of the matter.
Thank you. Did you have any other information from the dispatch?
I believe that the caller said that there was a single subject walking around outside of the car and possibly injured.
And did you make that location?
I did
Do you recall about how long it took you to get there?
maybe about 5 minutes less than.
Less than 5 minutes? When you arrived, what did you observe?
A car that was, I saw a SUV that appeared to have been crashed into a sign outside the gas station here. Dexter and there was a single male subject standing around the passenger side of the vehicle.
What did you notice about the vehicle first?
It was definitely crashed there and not parked. There was some extensive front end damage.
And Your Honor, may I approach with People's Exhibits 1 through 10 for the court?
You may.
Thank you. Officer Corey, you took some photographs that evening.
Yes,
Did you take a photograph of the vehicle as you found it?
I did.
Actually, more than one, would that be fair to say? And when you saw the vehicle, how did you determine that it had been crashed as opposed to just parked there?
Due to the amount of front end damage that it had, and it was still in contact with the signage there.
Did you make any observations about any other parts of the vehicle?
It was the windshield was smashed in a particular fashion.
And
It
go ahead.
appeared that it was impacted from the inside rather than the outside.
How could you tell that it was impacted from the inside rather than the outside?
It was falling outward instead of inward, and there was no like gouging from the outside of the windshield.
And when you were looking at the windshield, would you describe the cracking in it in any particular way?
Circular fashion. It's front of the driver's seat.
Did you look inside of the vehicle?
Yes.
Where did you observe about the inside of the vehicle?
There was quite a bit of personal property inside of the vehicle, and the passenger and all of the front and rear passenger seats, indicating that there was probably only one occupant at the time of the crash.
Did you look at the windshield?
Stop the tape. The officer found a clump of human hair stuck in the shattered windshield, on the inside. Reaction: this is a forensic nightmare for the defense. It proves someone's head hit that glass with enough force to leave part of them behind. Magoo says he wasn't driving, but his disheveled look and a bleeding head wound tell a different story.
Yes.
What did you observe about the windshield?
What stood out about the windshield was there was a clump of human hair attached to the cracks in the impact area on the inside of the windshield.
How would you characterize the color of the hair that you saw?
Light brown, maybe dark blonde.
Did you make contact with any people at that location?
Yes, there was a male subject standing near the passenger side of the vehicle when I arrived.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today? Can you tell me where that person is sitting and what they are wearing?
Seated at the defense table wearing the jumpsuit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that witnesses identified the defendant?
No objection, Your Honor.
Record shall so reflect.
And sir, when you made contact with the defendant, what did you talk with him about, or what did he do?
I asked him what had happened.
What did he say?
He said I wasn't here.
What else did you notice about his appearance?
He was bleeding from a cut or some type of injury. There was a lot of blood. It was kind of hard to tell where it all was coming from. It appeared it was bleeding from the top of the head.
Did you notice anything about his clothing?
It was disheveled. There was blood on it. Front zipper was down. The zipper was down on his pants.
Did you look at the color of his hair?
Yes.
Based on your observations, did that appear consistent with the color of the hair in the glass inside the car? What happened next?
He maintained that he was not driving the vehicle. He could smell the odor of intoxicants coming from him. We called for medical assistance just based on his injuries. And so while they were on the way, asked if he would take a preliminary breath test, which he agreed to.
Without getting into the results of the preliminary breath test, did you make a determination about what had happened that evening?
It appeared on his face that he was driving the vehicle and it got into a crash. And he may have been intoxicated while he was doing it.
Did you place him under arrest for OWI?
Not at that time.
When did you place him under arrest for OWI?
After the ambulance came, it was determined he was going to go to the hospital while he was receiving medical treatment, and I read him his chemical test rights. I advised him he was at that point that he was under arrest.
Did he agree to take a test?
No.
What happened?
He refused to take a test. Poor judgment on my part. I did not have him restrained in the hospital bed while I left I believe that his injuries were significant enough that he was not going anywhere. I went out to my car to start preparing a search warrant for his blood, at which point a nurse came out and told me that he had fled.
You can't make this up. The defendant was so injured, the officer didn't think he needed handcuffs, until he literally vanished from the hospital bed. Legal insight: fleeing the hospital during a custody investigation can be used as evidence of guilt or flight. It took them 40 minutes to track him down at an apartment complex. Magoo just turned a standard OWI into a high-stakes manhunt.
The hospital.
Did you find him?
With some assistance from Washington County Sheriff's Office, yes, I did.
Where did you find him?
An apartment complex just south of the hospital.
Were you able to take him back to the hospital?
Yes.
And did you complete your search warrant?
Yes.
Was it executed?
I just a note for the court, Sergeant Crusadis, helped me prepare the search warrant while I was dealing with Mr. Magoo's hospital. However, I did review, since I was going to the warrant, I did review it to make sure it was accurate based on my observations at the time of the incident.
Did he make I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir. While you were waiting to do the blood draw, did he make any statements to you?
He looked at my uniform and appeared to be confused as to why, he questioned me as to why, Milan, the city of Milan, was doing all of this. And
What did you say to him?
asked him, where he thought he was, and I said he was in, thought he was in sleep.
Did you ask him to perform standardized field sobriety tests?
I did not.
Why not?
Mainly due to his injuries, and even though he did, comply with the request for a PBT, he was generally uncooperative with most things that we were trying to get him to do, and asking questions about what had happened. Based on the extent of his injuries, we were more concerned about getting him medical attention at that point.
In your training and experience with administering standardized field sobriety tests with people who've been in traffic crashes that have injuries, is there any guidance that you've received from NHTSA on that?
It can be, especially with what was clearly a head injury that was sustained in a vehicle crash, it could have impacted the results of the standardized field sobriety test.
Your Honor, may I approach with People's Exhibit 11, the laboratory report?
You may.
And Officer Corey, you did receive a laboratory report back in this case? And do you recall what the VAC was?
I believe it was 0.127.
What did you do with the vehicle? Or what was done with the vehicle? Let me ask that. Do you know what happened with the license plate?
We confiscated the plate, as the operator at the time, who we believed to be Mr. Magoo, had several prior convictions for suspension and operating while intoxicated, requiring a plate confiscation.
Pursuant to state law, you had to take it. And I may have a moment.
May. I do have one question. How much time elapsed between the time you were notified that he had left the hospital and when he was located? Do you know?
I believe it was about 40 minutes, Your Honor.
40 minutes?
40, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Officer Corey, Milan, what county is that located?
Well, that's interesting.
Right.
Half in Monroe County and half in Washtenaw County. The incident itself occurred in Washtenaw County.
Thank you. And that is in the state of Michigan?
Correct.
Milan kind of abuts the two counties, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And your, I pass the witness.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I inquire? Afternoon, officer. My name is Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Magoo in this case. So you're dispatched for a single vehicle accident, right?
Correct.
And that's at a mobile gas station, and it appears there was an accident from an SUV into the sign, the mobile sign, right?
Correct.
And like you testified on direct examination, there was a 911 call placed, and that person didn't provide a name, did they?
They may have. It is something that I didn't end up following up on.
So you never talked to the caller, did you? And are you aware if anyone talked to that caller?
I am not aware that anyone did.
So as soon as you get there, Mr. Magoo is on the passenger side of the vehicle, right?
Standing outside, it's on the passenger side.
Okay. And that car was not registered to Mr. Magoo, was it?
Correct. It was not.
And like you testified on direct examination, he had a wound to his head, right?
Yes.
Bleeding pretty bad.
Yes.
There was an injury to the front and back of his head, right?
There's photographs of an injury to the back of his head, yes.
Okay.
And the front.
And he appeared to be dazed.
Yes, it was difficult to say if he was out of it due to the head injury or his level of intoxication, maybe a bit of both.
And you didn't conduct the field sobriety test because you were concerned that the head injury you observed might impact the field sobriety test, right?
There was a possibility, yes.
So You testified on direct examination, you saw the windshield was smashed and you saw blood, right?
Correct.
There's a chunk of hair in the windshield, right?
Yes.
You take a picture of that?
Yes. And let me backtrack. Sergeant Mercedes actually took a photograph of it.
Okay. And most of the time you're talking to Mr. Magoo, he was wearing a hat. You recall that, right?
I don't recall that. You may have been.
So it's dark outside, right? And
Is that a yes? 'Cause I don't think we got.
oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay.
Yes, it was dark.
Okay, go ahead.
And there's a significant amount of blood on his face and it's going into his hair, right?
Correct.
Okay. In this case, you did submit evidence to the crime lab for forensic analysis, right?
Blood test, yes, blood sample.
Right. So no hair follicles, right?
No.
And there was no attempt to obtain any forensic match between the hair or the blood that was found in the car with any hair or blood from Mr. Magoo's body, was there?
You were correct, there was not.
Okay. On direct examination, you talked about field sobriety tests. You said you're trained in the administration of field sobriety tests, right?
Yes.
And you forewent the field sobriety tests in this case, but no one asked him at all to perform those field sobriety tests, did they?
That's correct.
And after this initial interaction, when the ambulance arrives, he goes to Trinity Ann Arbor Hospital, right?
Correct.
And did you accompany him in the ambulance or you follow behind?
All behind.
Okay. And you read him his chemical rights at the hospital while he's in the bed, correct?
Correct.
And he refused at 2:51 a.m. Is
That's
that?
correct.
And after he refuses, you leave the room to go and work on the affidavit for the search warrant, right?
Correct.
And then Mr. Magoo vanishes.
That is also.
Okay. You didn't see him leave.
I did not.
You had no idea where he was.
Nope.
And like you said, he wasn't handcuffed or in any way restrained to that bed, was he?
He was not.
And there were no officers standing at the door or otherwise supervising that room, were there?
No.
And through your investigation, you determined he's located at an apartment complex at around 3:40 a.m. Is that right?
That's what is in the report. I think I listed a time in there. If you want me to look at, refresh my memory.
It would refresh your recollection to look at your report?
It would.
Okay. Your Honor, if I may approach the witness.
I think it's.
He's got a copy
Okay.
that was turned over, so if you look at that, if you believe that will refresh your recollection.
Yes, I did. He was located about 3:40 a.m.
Okay. And he's returned to the hospital. The blood draw was completed at 4:28 a.m. And of course, there's two blood draws done. So it's 4:28 a.m. and 4:29 a.m. Does that sound right, officer?
That sounds correct.
Okay. So in an ideal OWI investigation, you want to have eyes on the subject from the time you make the scene until the needle enters the arm, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. One of the reasons you do that is to make sure the subject doesn't consume anything that could impact the blood test, right?
That is correct.
And Mr. Magoo was unaccounted for nearly an hour in this case, right?
That's correct.
And in your search warrant affidavit, you didn't mention that, did you?
I don't believe so, no.
Thank you for answering my questions, Your Honor. I have nothing further at this time.
Here is the defense's only shot. Magoo was missing for nearly an hour before the blood draw. The strategy: the lawyer is hammering the chain of custody. Since the cops didn't have eyes on Magoo for 40 minutes, who's to say he didn't drink after the crash but before the arrest? It's a slim chance, but in a courtroom, a slim chance is sometimes all you have.
Read your.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Corey, were you able to obtain information that the defendant had previously been pulled over by a different police agency operating this car in March of 2023? And after he was recovered and brought back to the hospital, did you have two deputies stand by with him and handcuff him to the gurney?
I handcuffed him myself, but luckily I had a couple of deputies that were free for the moment that were able to watch him while I finished up the search warrant.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything?
Your Honor, if I may, one.
May want to mute your microphone.
Your Honor, just briefly. Thank you. Officer,
Oh, and can I just ask one other question before you, and I'll let you ask your
of
question.
course, Your Honor.
The PT, if there's,
Alex, muted.
okay, the PBT, are people going to seek admission of that if defense is challenging the results
Yes, Your Honor.
pursuant to the statute?
Correct.
And Your Honor, I understand that the people could rebut that kind of challenge. I'm not sure that we have gotten to that point yet. The case law.
Well, I just want to make sure that if there is going to be a challenge to the results, that under the statute, my understanding is, although these aren't entirely the circumstance under which it happens, but it seems to me an analysis could be made that the PBT would then become admissible. Just so that defense counsel is aware, but you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Officer, before Mr. Magoo was admitted to the hospital, did you yourself search him? Search his person?
It's outside the scope of my redirect, Your Honor.
I'll allow him to ask. Go ahead.
He was wearing a jacket, right?
I believe so, yes.
Did you go through all the pockets of that jacket?
I normally would, yes. I believe I did.
Okay. Officer, when you completed the refusal to submit to chemical test form, in this case, do you recall writing the refusal time as 1:35 military time?
No, I don't recall that.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the refusal to submit to chemical test form you completed?
I would. I think
Yes.
seems that I did. I don't recall why I would have put that time there.
Well, again, officer, thank you for answering my questions. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time.
All right. Ms. Lundy.
Officer Corey, you would agree with me that this says refusal date, but it does not say refusal time, correct? It just says military time?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, Your Honor, in anticipation of an argument that the blood result is not accurate, I would ask a question about the PBT, but if that argument's not going to be made, then I don't need to.
Your Honor, I would object to any mention or admission of the results of a preliminary breath test in this matter. I'm not sure that I have raised an argument that regarding its accuracy or regarding a rising blood alcohol level or anything like that. I don't think I've opened the door to that.
Well, I don't think you have. I just want to make sure we're prepared for the argument. But if that argument is going to be made, then I'm going to let the people question as to that. But
Your Honor, I don't anticipate making an argument regarding a rising blood alcohol level or anything to that effect at this point.
Well, but are you gonna make the argument that the blood alcohol result at the time of the test, well, I'll just do it this way, is it lower or higher than the,
Your Honor, I intend to make arguments on what has already been stated on the record, and I'm not to,
what does that mean?
from the defense, I don't anticipate any further questioning regarding the blood alcohol results from either the lab or the preliminary blood test.
Okay, again, that was very cagey the way that was put, but I'll just put it this way. What I will do, Ms. Lundy, is I will not permit the questioning at this point. However, if it is raised in argument, I may entertain a motion by the people to reopen their proofs to take testimony regarding that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
I have nothing further.
All right. You may step down, sir. Thank you.
Closing thoughts. Just when the legal sparring gets intense, the whole court system crashes. Final summary. We have hair in the glass, a hospital escape, and a blood alcohol level of 0.127. Magoo tried every trick in the book: federal removal, fleeing, and intervening alcohol. But the evidence is stacking up like a 10-car pileup. Do you think he beats the charge? We're out.
Yeah, shut down. I'm not done. So the system went down?
Yeah, it says that my calls are still recording, but.
We don't
the
know.
Software shut down.
I'm not gonna take a chance. Do we know when it happened just now?
Just now.
Just now, okay. What the court's gonna do is court's gonna stand in recess. We need to take it back up.
Understood. Thank you.
It's worked too hard today. Court's in recess.
All right.